It was really beautiful to see Martin Luther King's last speech, and also to have the choir and Tim and the band behind that. It really brings us into that moment, doesn't it? It is a kind of a special speech, you know. I don't know if you caught it, where he starts to blink his eyes right there. He says, "We have difficult days ahead, but I'm not worried now." You know, I just had the feeling he must have known something was coming, right? And I guess we all do. We all know something's coming. And the question now is, how are we going to meet it? You know, there's plenty going on in the world that could frighten us and could keep us from acting with courage, could make us want to go and hide in our room and close the door, or be aggressive with other people as a way of defending ourselves against them. There's a lot that's already happening and much more that may happen. And we are now really at the question of how will we meet it. So now in each of us there are missings in our heart. There are things that never happened to us that we wish had happened to us, and we have many of them are now unconscious, but they run like a program within us, and they cause us to act and to react in ways that may or may not be all that helpful for us. And so part of service to ourselves would be service to healing this aspect of ourselves. And over the last few weeks I've been talking about this idea that when you can remember just to love yourself right then, no matter what you are doing or what's happening around you, to love what is happening. And it's from this book, Whatever Arises, Love That. And this idea is really potent, I think, if we will take it to heart. And that is that if you can just step back from whatever's happening far enough to love it, then you have a chance, given it the greatest chance to transform and to become something new. And maybe you can't love what's happening, so you love yourself for not being able to love what's happening. But you continually bathe the moment in this energetic feeling of love. Then you have made the conditions, you have served the moment enough that the moment can be transformed. And if we will do this over and over and try and fill it out in every part of our lives, then we will begin to trust something really deep and profound. We will trust that the world, the universe, God, all of creation is working in our favor. That even though it may feel painful or unpleasant, it's working in our favor. And we'll have the opportunity, if we have doubted it, that the divine loves us beyond our understanding. It's probably good to learn this phrase, "I love you," directed toward yourself. But even more specifically, it might be worth taking some time to figure out what it is that you really feel unloved about. What is the gap, that scar, what is the missing for you, in particular, right now? And it may change over time, it may unfold and become more elaborate or simpler or whatever. It may be about different subjects, but in the moment, what is it you're missing? And for most of us now, what's missing is now going to be down pretty far underneath the surface. It's going to be underneath the surface because we have not been willing to live with the pain and the suffering of that missing all the time. So we built up essentially a personality on top of that, some of which is defensive and some of which is offensive. And to get to a healing place, we need to go back and feel or know what's missing. In the moment in which you're beginning to feel upset that someone's not appreciating you. In the moment when you feel like you're never enough. In the moment in which your anger has arisen because someone did not say thank you. Tell yourself that. I love you. You're sufficient. I've always loved you. Even when you weren't doing anything, it didn't matter to me. Now that you've done great things, I'm so happy for you. Tell yourself that. Be the parent that you missed. Let yourself be the recipient of the words you have longed to hear. And then we have this experience by giving the words and the feeling state of love to ourselves and the words that answer the call of our desires as children. We give it to ourselves, and then we are prepared to go out into the world and be a different being out there. You have this crowd, this sea of humanity, living quiet lives of desperation all around you. And they're all waiting for your service, so to speak, your kindness, your understanding, your ability to stand in their fire and not react. When Martin Luther King and the whole nonviolent movement was going along, they gave us a great example of how to do this. The people who were protesting or doing civil disobedience or whatever did not return anger and hostility and violence when it was directed toward them. Instead, they sent back love. And one of the things that happens when that happens is that the person doing the violence or spitting on someone realizes at some point they are at fault and not the other. There is a humbling of the righteousness when you are confronted with love when you have given violence to someone else. And that can be in the form of words, or it can be in the form of physical activity, or even thoughts, but that it is reflected back to you. And that releases both parties from the chain reaction experience. You hit, I hit, you spit, I spit. It becomes a place where healing can happen. And it is difficult often to sit in the fire of someone's anger and frustration and not react. But if we wish to change the world, that's how we do it. Take it and return love. Take it because you have decided that you are here to heal and not to hurt. That you are beyond reaction, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to be loved in every moment. This is why we remember Martin Luther King on this day, so that at least we can honor someone who's done it, and at most we can emulate it. Let us do that.